Hey there, House here. Week 13 was a pretty good one for me. I had a couple of losses, but I believe there were multiple people who guessed wrong when picking the Seahawks and the Steelers to win. Plus, picking the Cowboys on the assumption that Jackson wouldn't play, either way. I went 12 and 3 for a win percentage of 80%. My overall record is 136, 60, and 1 for a win percentage of 69%. So let's just roll it into the Week 14 picks. We have the Patriots versus the Rams. I'm picking the Rams here. This is a defensive matchup on Thursday night. Both teams don't offer an abundance of scoring. The Rams have the habit of playing great against running quarterbacks and finding ways to eliminate that aspect of their game pretty effectively. That is why I'm sticking with the Rams. Texans versus the Bears. I'm going to pick the Texans here. For as long as Watson and Mahomes are in the NFL, there will always be that friendly reminder that the Bears not only traded up in their draft, but also drafted Mitch Trubisky in front of those two. Watson, like any other quarterback, wants to play well against the team that passed over him in the draft. I predict a big day out of him. Cowboys versus the Bengals. I'm going to pick the Cowboys here. I keep believing that with Dalton at quarterback, who has been an accomplished quarterback in his own right, that this team will perform better than what they've showcased so far. It may also help that the Bengals will be down to their third-string quarterback due to injuries. Not to mention that Dalton will be playing against his former team where he spent the first 9 years of his career. Revenge games are usually fun. Broncos versus the Panthers. I'm going to pick the Broncos here. This is a pretty surprising pick for even me. I'm not entirely sure if I picked the Broncos to win once this year. If last week showed us anything, it's that they still have a pretty good defense, even if their offense is suspect at times. If they're able to establish the run like they did against the Chiefs, I believe they'll win this matchup. Next, we have the Titans versus the Jaguars. I'm going to pick the Titans here. Chiefs versus the Dolphins. All right, I'm picking the Chiefs, but with the Chiefs struggling to score against the Broncos, they'll face a similar challenge against the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a tremendous defense and are a team that works in the run through their running back and quarterback positions. This could be troublesome for a Chiefs defense that does not play against the run very well. Vikings versus Bucks. I'm going to pick the Bucks here. I really wanted to take the Vikings in this matchup, and I believe it's one that they could win. Mainly because you really never know which Bucks team will be making an appearance. I am, however, picking the Bucks, seeing as how they have an additional week to get healthier and have that extra time to prepare for anything that the Vikings could throw at them. Cardinals versus the Giants. I'm going to take the Giants here. Had they not just had a dominating defense performance against the Seahawks, I would have picked the Cardinals, no question. But the Giants have showed that they've been playing pretty great defense, as well as the ability to control the clock with the run. Limited opportunities paired with the struggling Kyler Murray could spell disaster for this Cardinals team. Colts versus the Raiders. I'm going to pick the Colts here. The Raiders needed a career performance from their stud tight end, Darren Waller, and a terrible defensive play call in the final seconds of the game that allowed them to complete a 40-yard completion for a touchdown and beat the winless Jets. None of that tells me that the Raiders have much of a chance against the Colts, who are battling for a division title. Jets versus Seahawks. I'm going to take the Seahawks here. I'm pretty sure last week I said something along the lines of, nothing screams bounce-back performance like playing the winless Jets when you've been struggling. The same holds true for this Seahawks team. Falcons versus the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers here. The Falcons have been in some closer contests against better teams as of late, but I still don't believe in them from a week-to-week basis. The Chargers are coming off their worst offensive performance all year. Some are even saying that Justin Herbert is in the midst of a haircut curse, whatever that is. I think he'll have a nice bounce-back performance here and give his team a much-needed win over the Falcons. We have the Packers versus the Lions. I'm going to take the Packers here. Saints versus the Eagles. This matchup will feature two quarterbacks that will tally the most rushing attempts combined over the course of all games this week. The Eagles announced earlier in this week that Jalen Hurts would start for them at quarterback instead of Carson Wentz. It's a move that most have been clamoring for. I believe he'll have some good and bad flashes in his first career start. Pairing that with a Saints team that has been playing well without Breeze over the past 3 games and an offense that is becoming acclimated to their new identity, I believe the Saints will win this one. Washington versus the 49ers. I'm going to pick Washington. Beating the last undefeated team in the league is not for nothing. They are in the thick of an NFC division title and playing well under Alex Smith. Not to mention their defense has been playing very well all season long. Plus, remember what I said about quarterbacks playing against teams that drafted them? Well, this one showcases Smith playing against a team who drafted and then traded him away. I'll say it again. Revenge games are fun. Then we have the Steelers versus the Bills. This one's tough. The Steelers have not looked great over the past 2 weeks. However, their defense has still been playing at a really high level. The Bills have been playing better offensively compared to the Steelers, but their defense still leaves something to be desired. The bright spot for the Steelers is that their leading back, James Conner, was activated from the COVID list, and he will play in this game. That should give them a nice boost on offense. With that, I'm picking the Steelers. And that leaves us with our Monday night matchup of the Ravens versus the Browns. The Ravens received a boost this week with the return of Jackson, but I don't believe that there will be enough to stop this Browns team. Their ability to run the ball right down your throat, and not to mention their ability to play the long ball down the field, makes them a difficult matchup. The Browns are just playing good ball, so I'm picking them. Well, there you have it. Those are my picks. Thank you for tuning into the House Report. As always, I hope my picks go better this week than they did last week. Check back in as the games are progressing just to see how good or bad I'm doing. And remember, you'll win some and you'll lose some. But the house always wins.